नमो आयरियाडं नमो उवचायाडं नमो लोये सवसाकुडं मङ्गलं भगवान् वीरो मङ्गलं गौतममुनि मङ्गलं कुन्दकुन्दात्यो जैनधर्मस्तु मङ्गलम् सर्वमङ्गल्यमाङ्गल्यं सर्वकल्याणकारकं प्रधानं सर्वधर्माणां चैनं जयतु शासनं चैनं जयतु शासनं चैनं जयतु शासनम् मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं वेत्तारं कर्मभूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. Okay. So, we all are trying to have a very short look at Balbodh Patmala Part 1. And this is where the actual learning of Jainism, the elementary learning of Jainism begins with. And in the first four chapters of this short big book, we have only learnt about the very prayers of Jainism. So the first chapter was Namokar Mantra, in which we had a quick glance on why we are going to five Parmeshtis, what is so special about them, and why this prayer is not just about devotion, affirmations that we all must practice. The four Mangals part was further addition to that, that okay, we need not go to any other person to seek their blessings, to get somebody's favor, somebody's ashirvad. That is not required. There are four supreme beings. They are Mangals. They are the benefactors. They are the most auspicious beings. They are also the best. They are Uttams. And at the same time, therefore, because they are auspicious, they are Mangal, they are best, they are Uttam, therefore I take their abode, I seek their refuge. So they are Sharan for me, they are refuge for me. So that was the second chapter about the four Mangals. The third, which we had a quick glance, the third chapter, Tirthankar Bhagwan. So now we are trying to understand what type of Bhagwan are we looking up to. This is important. This is what we were trying Tirthankar and Bhagwan. So like five Parmeshtis which we are going down to, are they Bhagwans? If they are Bhagwans, who is called Tirthankar? Because everybody knows that Jains have 24 Tirthankaras. So what does it mean if somebody is being called or being referred as Tirthankar? What does it mean? Are they not Bhagwan? Are Bhagwans not Tirthankar? So this is just a simple introduction to the word of the deities which are respected or revered in Jain tradition. The fourth chapter would be about again formalizing this whole process of giving respect, of giving salutations. So, Dev Darshan. So, if we are sure about who our Bhagwans are, then how do we offer our prayers to them? How do we give our salutations to our Bhagwans is the fourth chapter all about. Okay, so the first four chapters are all about, getting used to a tradition, because a tradition is always with a person starting that tradition. So that person becomes the god of that tradition. And nothing begins without paying respect to your gods. So the first four chapters are only about devotion, about practices, about is it whom we revere, whom we pay respects to. Okay. The fifth, sixth, and seventh chapter will be a very short journey into philosophy, into spirituality, as well as what mythology or what stories this religion comes along with. So, fifth is a sneak peek into the spirituality of Jainism, the living and the non living. The sixth is the routine, the discipline which we'll be following. So, because it is written from the perspective of children, so it is very good for children to know to have a routine. So, the daily timetable is about, how our routine should go. And this is by keeping in mind how a routine of child should go. uh, is the sixth chapter. The seventh chapter is about the life story of the first Tirthankara, Bhagwan Adinath, so that we also have a bit of introduction of the Bhagwans, the Tirthankars that we believe in. And the eighth is a small prayer. It's a rhyme, but it's rhyme about our own home, our own address, our own very personal introduction. So this is the first part all about which we have to have sort of as a kickstarter to this whole Parmagam Honors course. So let's quickly see what we have already done. We have done Namokar Mantra, we have done Asopanch Namokaro, which is again the prayer of Namokar Mantra. Then we did Chittari Mangal part. Last class we remembered Acharya Kund Dev's this very gatha in which he says that there is a direct relationship between five parmishtis and the self. This is the gatha number 104 of Moksh Pahur Granth. What is the gatha? I'll read it so that we have a very just a flavor of it. Aruha Siddhayariya Ujjhaya Sahu Panch Parmethi Devihu Chittahi Ade Tamha Adahu Me Saranam. What Acharya Kunkun Dev is saying? Ada means Atma, means self, means I. Ada is I. What I is in English? What मैं in Hindi? Ada in Prakrit. So, myself is referred as Ada, and that translates to Atma or soul or self. So, Ada. So, to me, Ada who may Saranam. Saranam means abode, Sharan, shelter, refuge. So my home is where? So my home is within. To me, myself is the only abode. So Ada Hume Saranam. Why are you saying this? So because the five supreme beings to whom I'm going down to, the Arihantas, Aruha is Arihanta. Siddha is Siddha. Ayariya is Acharya. Ujjhaya is Upadhyayas. Are called Panch Paramethi. They're called five Parameshthis. Arihanta, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyayas, and Sadhus. They are called five Parameshthis. But there is more to it. Te vihu chittahi ade. They are nothing but the different transformation of the self itself. The self has become sadhu. The soul has become upadhyaya. The soul has become acharya. The soul has become arihanta. The soul has become siddha. So these five parmeshtis are not different from the very soul. The soul can take these five forms. So rather than bowing down to the rays, I directly bow down to the sun. Who is bigger, the sun rays or the sun? So these Aryantas, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyas, and Sadhus, they are like the rays of the giant sun, which the soul is, which the Atma is. So you bow down to these five Parmeshtis means you're bowing down to the rays of the sun. But who is bigger, the rays of the sun or the sun itself? That sun, which is capable of producing these five different types of formations, these different five types of paryayas. That sun, Atma, Tamha. Therefore, Adahu me Saranam. I take refuge in myself. Yes, it's a beautiful gatha which always must act as a reminder to each one of us that while I am going down to somebody else, it is not to serve them. I'm not surrendering myself so that I can be their devotee for time infinite. No, I am surrendering myself so that I can let go of all this bondage. And then myself also become somebody who is free, who does not need to bow down in front of anybody. So this very self is being respected in this session, in this katha. Okay. Yes, yes, Nitish, you have a question? Hello? Okay, I think that was simple. It's simple. It's simple. It's a simple gatha. I'll translate it in English for the timing. Aruha is Arihanta. Arihanta. Siddha. Ayarya is Acharya. Ujjhaya is Upadhyaya. Sahu is Sadhu. These Arihant, Siddh, Acharya, Upadhyaya, Sadhu are five Parmeshtis. They're five Parmeshtis. ते बिहु ते बिहु चिट्ठही आदे आदे means atma. They are nothing but the very form of soul. They are nothing but the very soul. The soul has taken these five forms. Tamha, therefore, to me, Adahu me saranam, to me, myself, my Atma, I am the only shelter. I am the only abode. To whom should I look up to? I should look up to myself. I should, rather than looking out, look within. That is what Acharya Kundev is saying. Because these, if you go to a Jain temple, okay, if you go to a Jain temple, the fourth chapter, which we'll read shortly, if you go to a Jain temple, you see a Bhagwan in the temple, right? Have you seen what does Bhagwan do when you bow down to him? Does he look at you and see that whether you're bowing down properly or not? Is the eyes of the idol of the Bhagwan, which is placed in the temple, are the eyes open? In whichever tradition, whichever Jain temple you have been to, any of the Bhagwan, from Mahavir Bhagwan to Adinath Bhagwan, Bharat Bhagwan, Bahubali Bhagwan, any Bhagwan's murti that you have seen, any idol that you have done the darshan of. Have you ever seen a Jain idol which is doing like this and giving you Ashirvad? Ever? There are only two forms with Jain idols. If they are sitting, they'll be sitting in the Padmasana position. Hands on hands. There is no Ashirvad mudra. There is no mudra. There is no none of the mudras. There is nothing. The no anger, no smile. Like they are happy with you or they are pleased to have you in their temple. Nothing. So they are only doing this. And while they are doing this, while they have their hands on hands, are their eyes also looking at you? Or the eyes are also pointed towards their nose, nasagra drishti. Yeah. So they are not looking at you. So it is being said that why are we telling you to go see that Jain Bhagwan, what they're doing, do their darshan, so that when you see them, and you will see that you are seeing them, but they are not seeing you. So it often happens, when you're going down the way and there is a group of people which is gathered alongside of the road. Suddenly you hit your brakes, you slow down your car and you're curious. What are they looking at? Why are they looking that side? What has happened? Then you also see in that direction. Similarly, we are being pointed, like, go do the darshan of Bhagwan. So I went to the temple and I saw Bhagwan, and I saw Bhagwan not seeing me. He was seeing within. So I became curious. What is it that he is looking at? So he is looking at himself, means he is guiding me. He is pointing it out to me that, see, If you have come to do my darshan, behold, and know this very clearly that I am not seeing you seeing my darshan, doing my darshan. I am looking at myself, and it would be best if you take this inspiration from me and you also seek within, you also look within. So that's what this Gatha is saying. This Gatha is saying that the ultimate aim of spirituality is to make you acquaint with yourself, to make you fall in love with your very self. That yourself is called Atma. All five Parmeshtis become five Parmeshti by admiring themselves, by being Shuddhatma. And therefore, I must also take shelter of myself. This is what Acharya Kundev said, right? Now, somebody also asked last time, what Chirmani Stuti do we read? This is the same Stuti which we read. Nij Nidhi. Nij Nidhi means the self treasure. Where is my treasure? Nij mein batai. My treasure is in me. My treasure is in me. The five Parmeshtis or their Vani, their Jinvani, is telling me that all my treasure lies within. Nij nidhi, nij मैं बताई. यह अनंत उपकार है. It is for that I am filled with gratitude. I am indebted because Bhagwan did not ask me to search somewhere out. He did not tell me that, okay, you should have this, and only then you will be self sufficient. He said, you're already complete. You already have all that you need. And so he did not waste my time and efforts and energy by telling me to go about the globe and have this, and then only you'll be eligible for happiness. No, he said, you are enough, you're sufficient. And that is what fills my heart with gratitude for Jinwani Ma. Uske liye Jinwani Ma ko vandana shat bar hai. So this simple thing, the same thing, we are repeating the same thing. Because Bhagwan, instead of making me his follower, he told me to follow myself. I need such a God who is not self obsessed, who is not in the haste in this competition of, increasing his tribe of followers. No, he said, do not follow me, follow yourself. You do not need me. That Bhagwan who does not see me and who does not need me to show that he is Bhagwan, I am going to bow down to that Bhagwan. So because they are making me self-sufficient, right? So this is what we have done so far. So now we started with the fifth chapter. The fifth chapter was, the third chapter was about Bhagwan and Tirthankar, and we also had a sneak peek into like what 24 Tirthankars are and how proud we should be of the legacy of Jainism and how famous it was. Recently, Vice President of India went, he's from, I think, he went to one of the ceremonies and he categorically mentioned that, a few hundred years ago, every third person, like two-third of the population of South India we're talking about, states like Tamil Nadu and all, every 2 persons out of 3 persons were Jain, like two-third of the population was Jain. South India, you'll see it everywhere, not just South. You go on the top of the India, you go and do darshan of Kedarnath. That is the Pratima of Tirthankar Rishabdev, very well documented in history. So Kedarnath is the temple of Rishabdev Bhagwan. You go to the very south of this country and you go, sorry, I'm saying Kedarnath, Badrinath. Badrinath it is. Badrinath is the deity there is Adinath Bhagwan. You go to the very south of this country and you must have uh, heard his name. What is the famous name of the famous temple? Um,
Tirupati Balaji.
Tirupati Balaji. Yeah, so the Tirupati is actually 22nd Tirthankara, Tirthankara Neminath, and therefore in South Indian temples, you'll always find whether Hindu or Jain, or any temple in South Indian art forms, even the recently constructed Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. Everywhere you will always find that one symbol of Shankh. You know, Shankh? Shankh is what a 22nd Tirthankar Ninginath Bhagwan is denoted with. Yeah, so it is their chinna and it is predominantly being used as logo of all South Indian temples because Tirupati Balaji is actually the idol of Tirthankar Ninginath Bhagwan. So all the big temples, you name the big temples, the Meenakshi temple, all the big temples, if you'll see the legacy will always follow. The history of Jainism was so rich, right? But um, it's unfortunate that we are seeing such a decline in the Jaina legacy as well as the cultural values which we held for so long. They are withering away slowly and gradually. But fine. So we are now trying to figure out what is the concept of Bhagwan in our uh, tradition. So what we're saying is, in Jainism, Bhagwan is not a person, but a designation. Okay. So it's not that Mahavir Bhagwan is being adored because he is Mahavir. No. He's being adored because he is Bhagwan. Mahavir Bhagwan, the important part is not Mahavir, the important part is Bhagwan, right? So in Jain tradition, the attributes are respected, not the person. जैन धर्म में गुणों की पूजा होती है व्यक्ति की नहीं सिंपल सिंपल इट्स नॉट a religion which follows people, it follows attributes, it follows qualities. Yeah, we we adore the attributes of Bhagwan. And what are those attributes? Predominantly there are two important attributes. The first one is called vitaragata. Vitaragta means no attachments, no aversions, no rag, no dvesh, no liking, no disliking, no love, no hatred, being neutral, being indifferent. That is called Vitaragata, right? And the second thing is Saravagyata, the omniscient, the one who knows everything about everything. Fine. Why are we putting these two conditions? I'll share just the PDF where all these things are written. So the question was, Tirthankaras, uh, Tirthankaras are God or not? The Tirthankaras are indeed gods. But even those who are not Tirthankaras but are unattached and omniscient, that is the Arihanta.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah. So 24 are the Tirthankaras, like generally Mahavir Bhagwan, Adinath Bhagwan, Parshanath Bhagwan. Whenever we are referring to a Bhagwan, mostly 90% of the times we're referring to Tirthankara. So Tirthankaras are gods or not? So first the gods are being defined. All those, all those, all those who are omniscients and are free from attachment are gods. Means so omniscience is Sarvagya and free from attachment is what? Vitaragi. They have no rag. Why this condition? Simple question. Let's have very quick discussion on this. Why are we saying that a Bhagwan is a person who is having zero emotions? Means no attachments, no rag, no dvesh, no love, no hatred, and knows everything. Fine. So let me ask this simple question to all of you. First is, what do you think? To be happy, what is it that we need? Or if we take it from the other end, what makes us unhappy?
Dependency.
Sorry.
Dependency on others' outer things.
For example,
Like I have to keep my body alive. Then for that I need food from outside. So all
yeah.
these dependencies are making me weak.
Okay, so yeah, so we are not free. We are bound by different obligations, responsibilities which we cannot run away from. So I cannot just, go away from my house, abandoning my parents, abandoning my family, because I am responsible towards them for their well-being, for their safety, security. Yes. So I am being required to to act upon these certain responsibilities which I did not ask for. See, you guys did not choose how many siblings you'll have.
Mm.
But if you are the youngest or the eldest one, your parents made the choice that you'll have three siblings you'll be, right? But then your parents have gone from this world. And now you're left with these three people, like you and two other siblings. You did not choose that you'll have you'll be three brothers, sisters, three siblings, but you're responsible. You know, you're responsible to each other. So if you're the eldest, you have to look after the other two. If they're not doing well, if they're doing well, it's okay, right? So we did not choose these responsibilities, but we have to follow through. We have to be free from these responsibilities by doing all that it requires to be done. Correct? So the first thing is very well put that we are not independent, we are dependent in ways we often misjudge. We think that we are free, we are not. Yes? Okay, one thing. Other thing, what makes you unhappy? Yes,
Uh,
yes.
anything that uh, does not go as per our wishes, right? That makes us unhappy.
Yeah. So anything that does not go as per our wishes. Let's put it like this. There are two situations. The first situation is that uh, there are sirens all over, and everybody's saying, please vacate your houses. Tonight at 8 p.m., a earthquake is expected. Approach the nearest open ground that you see. Okay. You're told good old 14 hours before the expected time. You took everything you saw, you ensured that okay, all that is important is being taken care of in case the house literally goes off. They have everything safe that is outside, your all family members, all important papers, anything that you needed. You have, ensured that okay, I have given it a thought and I can do. Now remove this 14 hours what do we call it, like caution, the 14 hours of warning which you got in advance, remove it, and suddenly at 8 p.m. the earthquake arrives without any hint. Yeah. So the earthquake is happening at 8 p.m., whether you know it or whether you don't know it. When it is harder to cope up with the fact that the earthquake has come, knowing about it before 14 hours makes any difference? In which
Yeah.
situation will you be less unhappy?
I think both of them in some ways, because if you know it's coming, you're more worried and you'll be anxious. Whereas if you didn't know it was coming, you wouldn't worry about it. But obviously,
So
when it
which
does
which
happen,
which situation would you want to be out of these two options?
not knowing.
Are you sure?
I take
I
no.
think we should have a
I
poll
guess
on this then.
knowing. If
Yeah,
we know,
how
at
many of
least
you
we can
think you would
just
rather
try to save
know?
ourselves.
Yeah, so you would want to know it beforehand. Yeah. How many of us would not want to know? The second option, the second plan would work. Hmm?
No, no, we don't want sudden things. We want to know
You,
everything.
yeah, you would want
Know that.
to you would at least want some sort of warning, right? Yeah. I
Yes.
think when I think the government were testing some sirens, emergency in case of emergencies, the phone will automatically start buzzing, right?
Yeah.
It happened in UK, right? Why were they doing that? If something is happening in emergency, people would eventually know what is the need to, warn them beforehand. So the first thing
Yeah.
is the greatest sometimes the regret in our lives remains that wish we had known it earlier.
Mm.
Wish we had some hint about it. We did not see it coming. We would always want to know. See, and it happens. A person who is admitted to hospital in ICU and doctor says that, okay, you know what? We are trying our best, but he did not have more than 3 days. He says so. And somehow, after 3 days, when he passes away, somehow everybody makes peace with it. But the same person who was just, he's going to pass out at the same day after 3 days, but nobody has told you, then it's a sudden death. You cannot register it. That how can we believe? It's the same person who died by no where you when you could presume that okay, he will not live longer. And it was easier to tackle, regardless of that child's age, that person's age. If you knew, knowing, knowing slows down the process of grief. You're right. It makes us anxious. It makes us reimagine that image, that scene after 3 days. Every time during those 3 days, you will run through that scene again and again. That okay, what will happen after he's not there? But somehow it will make you more resilient towards that happening after 3 days. But it happens suddenly, then you'll keep wondering why it happened, right? So the first thing is the most important reason for unhappiness in our lives is not knowing. If I tell you that, okay, we are going to go to that path and that path is tough, expect hardships. It is not going to be easy track. If you're warned beforehand, you make peace with it. You say, okay, I already knew it had to come. But if I tell you, no, it's a very beautiful path, very comfortable journey, and then it does not turn out that way, then you start saying things that you should not. Yeah, because it will not be an easy journey for you, right? So knowing about what is going to happen, no matter how ugly things are going to happen, knowing about their happening beforehand, it sort of prepares us for that very event. Yes or no? So the first thing is about knowledge. If given choice, if given option, I would want to know everything. I would
Mm.
want to know everything. That's why we have weather reports, weather forecasts. That's why we have astrologers looting people every day. That's why we have so many different things happening just because people want to know. And that's why so many people always are there, always are there uh, to 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 uh, to tell us the forecast that what may happen. Okay, the president of United States did this. What are the expected outcome of this decision? What to expect? What not to expect? Yes, so that is possible. So therefore we are always calculating the outcome, the future outcome, that okay, I'm investing in this, what are the consequences of this? Correct. So first thing is knowledge is very important. First reason of us being unhappy is because we are not sure what lies ahead. Like somebody rightly said in the comment, uncertainty, Rahulji, right? Yes. So first thing is because we do not know the future, we remain always afraid of its uncertainty. Anything can happen any day. Yes. So had I known about the consequences, it would have been much easier for me to understand and to accept the fact, right? See, If I have this simple piece of glass, which is delicate, on the other hand, if I have a balloon, which is also very delicate, the balloon bursts out and this piece of glass breaks into pieces. Yeah. In which incident do I worry myself more? Which makes me feel pain more? Which one?
The glass breaking,
Why? Why?
because it can cause injury.
It can cause it, but I'm safe. I'm perfectly safe. It did not cause any injury to me. Just that this beautiful piece got broken into pieces. Out of these two incidents, a
It,
balloon goes
it's
off.
the value associated with that's kind of making it kind of precious.
Yes.
But if both are of same value, I would say balloon, because balloon probably you cannot bring it back. With this, at least you can try to glue it and try to reuse it. So
So
it
with
depends on the value.
balloon, we expect that, okay, if not today,
It will go off
by
someday.
tomorrow, it will be off. Whether I burst it off or not, it will not remain. Same things go with our day-to-day groceries. If I have, let's say, tomatoes on my dining table, and if I leave them out there on the dining table, I return after 3 days to my house and see the tomatoes are rotten, right?
Yeah.
I will not say that, oh, why did this happen? Why did the gods do this to me? I do not deserve this. How did my tomato go wrong? We'll never complain to our Almighty because my vegetables went rotten.
Mhm.
Why? Because we could calculate that their shelf life, their life, if left out in open, is this. So this had to happen. This I could anyways assume that this would happen. But with this, I did not imagine that it will slip off my hand and fall and break into pieces. I did not imagine throwing it on the ground. It was delicate. I was sure that it will remain on my table for this year at least. This is my paperweight, correct? So it's about the assumption which we have for things, the things which are fragile. We have different set life of those things. So therefore, a boy who dies at the age of 20 and a person who dies at the age of 90, people are in shock when we hear about the death of a boy. And people say, oh, he had a very good life, 90 years, he passed away after 90 years. So why, so for people who have lived above 90, mostly people while you're, joining in their prayer, those people would be more of like, okay, he had a good life. But if somebody passed away when you did not expect them at that age, if they pass away, then everybody's shocked. Everybody mounts more. Correct? So it's all about, had you known that this has to be expected, you would have behaved differently. So, first thing is about the uncertainty. Uncertainty's fear is lack of knowledge, lack of information. So, if you have knowledge of it, the certainty comes in, and with certainty, you can prepare yourself at least. So, it at least saves you from that pain of shock, pain of suddenly realizing the fact. You get in process the time to prepare yourself that, oh, it might happen. No, it is going to happen. Correct? So, first is a person who would be free from pain should be free from this fear of uncertainty, should be a certain person. Therefore, he has to be omniscient. So, Bhagwan, see, I idealize happiness. The one of the reason why I'm not happy is because of the lack of information about future or past. So for me, if I am choosing a Bhagwan, I would want that Bhagwan should be certain about what is going to happen and what had happened and what is happening. So therefore, my first condition for a Bhagwan would be, because I am looking for a happy person. The happy person in my definition would be a person who knows everything so that he is certain about what is going to happen. So therefore, a Bhagwan's first attribute would be that he has to be Sarvagya. Okay? Yeah. Anybody has a question with this? Yes, Kapilji, please.
Prabhuji, I'm just thinking, is it big? It's just the who's the action is happening with. Does that determine this? So your example, I agree. If we know we can, act towards it, and we would be making peace with it. But if that eventually is happening with me, I thought the other answer was also right, because so if someone else has to die in my family, for example, at a particular day, I can prepare for it, I can make peace with it. But if that person happens to be me, I would probably not want to know my death date. And because in that case, ignorance may be bliss, and it may be that I don't have to live with, every day, thinking about it, dying about it. So let everybody else know, and let them prepare, because they have to live life after it. But for me, I would probably, yeah, want it to be an accident. It has to happen suddenly. I don't want to stay in coma for so many months and years to just know that, yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah, so that may be more painful for me than having a sudden death.
Good that you brought it up. So therefore, it makes us to move to the second condition of Bhagwan. See, if I know everything about everybody, there is a lot of gossip going in my head. Just imagine, I know everything about you. That is actually trespassing your privacy, right? And if I'm not of sane mind, I have so much of content to share with world then, right? So a person who knows everything is a dangerous person. You're concerned
Yeah,
about the pain. I am concerned about just see how dangerous a person is who knows everything. That's what we are afraid of. Governments, of Meta, of all these companies, of Google. Like they know a lot about our secret lives. So we
even
want
if they
privacy.
they even if they won't act malicious, even for them. So knowing, so if I know about everyone's, am I not taking everyone's headache on me to I have to, yeah.
So that's what. So a person who knows about everybody, and if that person is not of sane mind, then that person will go crazy. And therefore,
Right.
to know about everything, the first condition is that you should be Vitaragi. You should know the art of being unaffected even after knowing in and out about everybody. You getting it? A Bhagwan would be a person who knows everything. But by knowing everything, I know a little about my life and I'm so tensed. What if I know everything about my life? I'll go crazy. So that knowledge has a minimum eligibility criteria. Only that person is eligible to be omniscient who can actually digest that much of knowledge. And that person who is eligible to digest that knowledge is called a person who is Vitaragi, who is free from rag and dvesh, who is free from all judgments, all fears, all consequences, who does not see life as a one page of a book, but the whole book itself. The life, what I see today, is just one chapter of the drama that I'm playing. So you cannot see one scene and decide for the whole story. But my knowledge only sees one scene, and I say that my life is so bad. This is not at all good for me because I am deluded with my own aversions, my own attachments, and I have very short sightedness. Like you said, that, if I have to know it about my other family members, it would be better that, okay, we can plan, we can, because we have to live. But if it is about me, I should not know it that, every day I'll be thinking about my death only, right? This is what you're saying. But then again, this is the very aversion. This is the very I would say, the attachment with this birth is so intense that we are saying that, okay, it is me who is leaving. So I'm dying. You're not dying. You're actually changing the body. You should know it more than others should do. You have to prepare for your next journey. So, had the death would be the last full stop. You're right. Why to know about it? Let it come to us. But we are saying if death is full stop, then death becomes the salvation. Death itself becomes the nirvana. You're free after dying. But are you? Are we sure? If we are not sure, then whether it's our death or others' death, have we made peace with it? Because not today, if not today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after years, after a decade, I will have to die one day. Yeah. So all our grief is just postponed to that one incident. Until it happens, we all are happy. The day it happens, we all are in shock, we all are in pain. Correct? So it is being told to us that a person would be called Bhagwan only when he knows everything. Because only then I feel that knowing everything brings some types of equanimity, some types of calm. But knowing everything, am I even prepared to know everything? I would know every thought that goes in the mind of my spouse. I would know every thought that my boss thinks of me, that my subordinates thinks of me. Am I prepared to? I cannot take a simple criticism of 4 lines. And my whole day goes like, oh, how did I get this email? How dare he say something like this to me? I do not have the capacity to take one honest criticism. You're giving me the authority to know everything what goes inside the mind of the people I live with. I'll go crazy. So therefore, it is the condition. Only a Vitragi person will become Sarvagya. A Sarvagya who is not Vitragi, we should feel sorry for that person, but it does not happen. It does not happen that a person who knows everything is not Vitragi. If he is not Vitragi, we all must feel for that person because he is then the saddest person, the person who is the most unhappy person, if at all a person is. Right? Correct? So, therefore, simple two conditions. A person, for a person to be happy, the first thing is that he should not have any desires. Who will not have any desires? So, our desires are our curiosities. It's not that I need a car. It's my curiosity that let me try. If I have that car, will I be happy? This is all it is about. It's not that I wish for a global tour. It's not that I want to go to Norway for vacation. It's in my mind a curiosity that if I do this world tour, I might feel happy. So that curiosity is making me plan that vacation, buy that house, buy that type of clothes, live this type of life. That is curiosity. I do not know that that is not the answer. So I think, let me try. Let me try having that house, having that car, having that luxury. Let me taste it. So that curiosity is being fueled by the half knowledge. So if you have a desire, means you do not know the consequence of what will happen after you have it. So you do not know what happens after you have it. It shows that you are half known to that particular incident, to that happening. So a person who will be happy would be a person who has no desire. A person who will have desire is a person who does not know everything. So a person who has to be happy should not have desire. And to not have a desire, you have to know everything. Therefore, a sarvagya or an omniscient person can only be happy. Simple. The antidote of desire is knowing everything. And to know everything and not be affected by all the knowledge, you have to be resilient. You have to be strong enough that you can digest the knowledge. For being that, you have to be Vitaragi. Yes,
So, sir, the root cause of the emergence of the desire is lack of knowledge.
lack of knowledge fuels this illusion that if I have it, I will be happy. That thought then breeds the attachment. Oh, I like that. I think I should have it. Yes. It all starting with knowledge. You were driving your car, you were going to office. Suddenly, you see a big billboard, which says that own a property in this area. You have a sea, you have personalized infinity pool, everything is good. You were looking for a house. You thought, why not this? How did desire for this building came to you, for this house came to you? First, it was thrown at you. That's what all advertising agencies are doing. Whenever I go to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, to my store, to anywhere, I am being thrown. The information is being thrown at me by way of advertisements everywhere. Yes. So the door to desire is Gyan. You know about something, suddenly your Gyan knows something about something. And it also knows that you are not happy. And it is also constantly searching the ways to make you happy. So suddenly your mind says, what if we try this? If the advertisement is attractive enough, it will attract your attention. So what is telling you to buy it is your rag, your attachment. You liked it. But why you liked it? Because first it was thrown at you. So it first came into your knowledge. That knowledge could not fathom it. So it sent it to your attachment. And then you started desiring it. Okay, now it is my goal to have this house by the end of this year. It is my aim that I should have this type of lifestyle. This is my New Year resolve. So this becomes because your knowledge could not handle it. So Gyan, which is not trained to be indifferent, falls to these pranks. In old age, stone age, people used to be hunted by animals, by other beings. So, we will live in jungles and we'll be, killed by wild lion maybe, or some other person will with their arrows, they might kill us. So the survival was a problem. In 21st century, we are still being hunted, but by advertising agencies. We're still being looted by, you go out anywhere and everybody's out there making you believe that you are not enough if you do not have this. This is the only thing that you need at the moment. So we are still being, so our consciousness is being looted by so many different things which are thrown at us on a daily basis at such great pace. You, at a time in between two YouTube videos, you see two, three advertisements, and they do not even let you skip it now. 20, 30 seconds, you have to see it. Yeah. Or you, if you do not want to purchase things on YouTube by seeing the advertisement videos, you purchase the YouTube subscription. So you have a Prime. So you do not get any advertisements. So you have to either purchase not showing the advertisement plan, or you advertisement will be thrown at you. You're getting it. We're so tricked to choose what to not know you have to pay. Otherwise, you are the product. You're being sold to the companies, not otherwise. Yes. So therefore, the root cause of unhappiness was simple. It was very simple. We became unhappy because we did not know what is happening, why is happening. So we said, if we had all answers, at least if not happy, we'll make friendship with the facts. We'll accept the fact that this is how it is. I do not complain to fire that why it is so hot. I just accept it that fire is hot. because it is what fire is. So if I know that this is life, that I have to meet an accident today, if I know, I will accept at least the fact. This is how my future is going to be. I'll accept that fact. But if I do not know it, then whoever comes to me tells me that, okay, if you do not do this, you can do this. And they tell me different ways, the ways I find most attractive through my rag, through my aversions, through my attachments. I go to walk on that path. That path leads to all the trouble, all the problems of our lives. So, in our Bhagwan, we are looking for these two qualities. First is about why we are unhappy, because we do not know enough. Okay, so you do not know enough, that is not the problem. Yeah, because we do not know enough, and therefore we are fooled by our attachments and aversions. So we are not vitaragi. So two-part problem it is. First, that we do not know it all. Even the little we know about, we are not at peace with that knowledge. So either we want to correct it or we do not want to. Either we want to, we like it or we dislike it. Okay? So if rag and dvesh are there, we are unhappy, we're doomed. Fine. Any questions?
So can we say that this incomplete gyan is falling us into trap?
Yes. So incomplete gyan is opening that small window where there is a tiny little chance that we can be convinced that we are not enough. We are not complete. That there is a different charismatic way in which we can be made happy. And in that simple ignorance gap, we can be made fool. We can be fooled. Somebody will come and tell us that, see, come to us, we'll solve your problem. Yeah, so that's where all the stupidity happens. We do things which we have no idea will bear any fruits or not. Fine. So a Bhagwan is somebody who is, so two qualities when looking at Bhagwan. They are unattached and omniscient. Unattached is Vitaragi, omniscient is Sarvagya. Okay? A Bhagwan is a person who is happy. See, I want to be happy. I do not want anything else. Each one of us wants to be happy. This is the simple goal. We don't care anything else. We do not care about anything else. We all want to be happy. To be happy, I'm looking up to idealize someone. So a person who seeks happiness will look up to a person who is happiest. Who is happiest? So I'm saying I cannot say that uh, Adinath is happiest or Bhagwan Mahavir is happiest. I cannot say this. I will say that, okay, whoever will fulfill these two criterias, who is unattached and omniscient, he becomes my Bhagwan and he is happy in my vocabulary. I will go after that God who is Vitragi and who is Sarvatya. Yes, simple. Any question is very important because see, you go to a temple where a Vitaragi Bhagwan is not there. You will see a Ragi Dveshi Bhagwan. If you'll see a Ragi Bhagwan, you will see that they are there with their family, they have their uh, makeup done, they have beautiful clothes, they have everything, right? They are Ragi. Now, there is a problem. Ram is Bhagwan, but his wife is kidnapped. Can you imagine? A Bhagwan's wife is kidnapped. Now, what Bhagwan is doing? The same thing I would do if my wife is kidnapped, looking for my wife. Yes. What is it I'm doing? So, in his life and my mundane life, what is the difference? Oh, you're saying that he's upright. You know, he was very, so that type of honesty to we are expecting from our judges as well. every civilian should be upright. What do you think? The teachers teaching your kids in school, should they be honest or not? So if a king is honest, how does it make him a special king? This is the bare minimum requirement for a king. So how can a king be Bhagwan? Can be a good king, a good human being. How are you making it about his Bhagwan is being Bhagwan? Okay? You go to a temple, you see a Dveshi Bhagwan. You see one of the goddess who has, a necklace made up of human heads. Her tongue is all out, red with blood. If you take a small child into the temple, the child will start crying. Now, the God is so angry, the same way my teacher gets angry when I'm not doing my homework. So these are the mundane qualities. I get angry, Bhagwan is getting angry. I get loved, Bhagwan is also feeling loved. These are the qualities of mundane people. If this is how Bhagwan behaves, then what is the difference between a human and a Bhagwan, between a Sansari and a Bhagwan? So a Bhagwan would be, if there is a situation where I should be angry, Bhagwan would be a person who is in that situation not angry. If I am in a situation where I should get attached, Bhagwan should be a person who should not do what I do. Otherwise, I am Bhagwan. So in the incidents of Rag, do Rag. In the incidents of Dvesh, do Dvesh. Bhagwan would be a person who does not do both, who is indifferent to these situations, who is far bigger than these situations. And therefore, a Bhagwan is somebody who is Vitragi and Sarvagya. ठीक है? Simple? Fine. If you have a Ragi Dveshi Bhagwan, then there is a trouble. So let's say, forget about Bhagwan. I can help you. ठीक है? I can help you. If I can help you, I am your Bhagwan. Why? Because we have heard that our good karmas help us. I reap what I sow, right? The karmas. So my actions will help me or somebody else will help me. If somebody else is allowed to help me, my actions are undermined. That person is bigger than my actions. Yes. So that person becomes more powerful than my own karmas. Action means karmas. Yes. So if I can help you and you're happy that, oh, it is such a wonderful being that is helping me, then you beware. I am being nice. If you have given me the authority to help you, there are 100 other people who are not so nice. If I have the authority to help you, those 100 other people have the authority to disturb you, to trouble you. Do you want such a imbalanced world where one person decides to help you can help you and 100 others decide to trouble you and can trouble you? This functioning of the world sounds better, or my good actions help me and my bad actions puts me in trouble? This world order is better, which is more just, more justified, where I am responsible for my actions, not other person's character, not other person's passion, right? So if that we can logically derive it, then again, why do we need Bhagwan if we have our own actions making our lives? If my actions decide my future, what do I need a Bhagwan for? Who is Ragi Dveshi? If I pray him, he will be happy and gives me Ashirvad. So there is no requirement of Bhagwan who is Ragi Dveshi, who can be appeased, who can be pleased, who can be made happy, or who can be confronted, who can be offended. We do not need that Bhagwan. We need a person who is happy so that by looking at that person, we take inspiration. Okay? Therefore, the condition for Bhagwan is what? He should be Vitragi and Sarvagya. Vitragi and Sarvagya is every Bhagwan. But some of the Bhagwans, along with Vitrakta and Sarvagyata, also have the great power of oratory. They are good orators. And not just that they are good orators, they also get the company of such people who create great infrastructure for them. Like, uh, I'm sure, I'm sure there have been many people in the past, orators, audience. Osho got great audience. You know Osho, Rajneesh, yeah, he got great audience. So its audience came together. They made a trust. They made infrastructure. They made the recordings. They propagated those recordings. They published books, DVDs, CDs, and that's how it got propagated. So was Osho special? Yes, he was special. But there were others also who would speak better than Osho. It's a pity that they did not get the audience. Maybe they were in far interiors of India. They did not get the right people at the right time. Osho was good, great, fine. But also he was lucky in terms that the kind of people met him. Yes, everyone. Yes. Gandhiji was a great man of great conviction. Great. But he was also lucky. He, right, he came from a privileged family who could send him to London to do his barristry, right? He was in South Africa, therefore he was thrown out of the train. So to get thrown out of the train in South Africa, you first have to go to South Africa, right? Fine. Not every Indian from any village is able to go to South Africa or to London. So Gandhiji was great, man, fine. But he also had his circumstances, no? He also was privileged enough that he could be in the company of the greats of this nation, greats of that nation. He was all right. So connections do matter. Similarly, so this is what, so one factor is what I am. The other factor is of what company I am. What people do I need? What resources those people bring to the table. Yes, correct. Similarly, amongst Bhagwan also there are people who are Vitragi Sarvagya and completely happy. There are others who also are blessed with extraordinary company. Yeah, because of a certain type of karma. Like we have good fortune, there is one specific type of fortune which is called Tirthankar Nam karma. If a Bhagwan has that karma, then he gets the company of the greats, Saudharma Indra, Kuber. Everybody comes down and they make a great stadium for a great pavilion for Bhagwan's oration, for his oratory, for his discourses. That is called Dharma Sabha or Samavsharan. Samavsharan is nothing but a parliament of Bhagwan where Bhagwan speaks and gives his discourses. ठीक है? The Indian parliament is a tribute to Tirthankara Samavsharan. The word parliament in Sanskrit is called Sansad. It has 12 different distinguished rooms. Yeah? So the animals are invited to this parliament. So animals can come if they can listen. There are humans, both male and female. So humans are allowed. Okay. There are monks, Acharyopadhyay sadhus, and arikas, sadhvis, shravikas as well. So they are. So there are 4 rooms dedicated to humans. Yeah, like 3 rooms, and then there is a room for animals also, Sangi Panchendriya animals, the five sensed uh, animals. And then there are rooms for the Devgatis, Deva. Okay, Devs and Devis separate. So these all in totality make 12 different rooms. So Barah Sabha, the 12 Sabhas of Parliament, in that circular formation, on the center of it sits Tirthankara in space, below his Ashok Vraksha, above a giant lotus of gold. that is called Samavisharan. A person who is blessed with this magnificence of karma is called Tirthankara. What is special in that person? From outside, everything is special. From inside, it is the same person who is Vitragi and Sarvagya. Vitragi and Sarvagya, out of his karma, also got blessed with a greater reach. So he's the Bhagwan who went viral. Simple. He got wider audience. So Tirthankaras have discourses. More people come to listen to them. So therefore they are called Tirthankara. Tirth is the tradition, is the path, is the religion. Tirth. Okay. So Tirth is a word. We have river and then we have a river shore. Okay. So if you are in the middle of the river, the shore is far away. So you would want to save your life, you swim well and reach the shore. And that's how you swim through the river. So in Hindi we say that वो नदी से तिर गया. तिरना, तैरना you have heard swimming. So जो तैर जाता है, the one who swims through, वो तिर गया. तो जिस जगह से तिरा जाए, from where you swim through, that is called तीर्थ. So samsara is a giant ocean, and the very boat on which you sit, which makes you swim through this ocean and takes you to that edge where the salvation is there, where the moksha is there, that is called Tirtha. Okay? So Tirtha is the path to swim through the ocean of samsara. Okay? Kar means the doer. Tirthankar, the maker, the doer of this tirth, the propagator of the path to liberation. He is called Tirthankar because it is because of his voice, because he has audience, he has means, he has resources, he has all the devas coming down to earth and investing all their time and energy and resources in propagating his discourses. So this person has wider reach, wider following. So he becomes the famous orator. So he becomes the leader of Tirtha. So he's called Tirthankar. Okay, understood? Let's have a quick look at the definition of it. The one who is a Tirthankar? Who is a Tirthankar? Can you all see? This is visible, I hope. This is visible.
Yes, can see.
Yeah. Who is a Tirthankar? One who preaches the right path to liberation. Who teaches? Means he is discoursing. He's saying, who preaches the right path to liberation is surrounded by the magnificence of Samavisharan, which he did not make. Osho did not make anything. It's the people around him who arranged everything for him, right? The Mahavira did not make his Samavisharan. It is his own Tirthankar Nam Karma, because of which the Devas from the Devgati came down and the Kuber crafted the Samavsharan. Okay? So it's surrounded by the magnificence of Samavsharan and other glories, and in whom Tirthankar Nam Karma has come to fruition. So it is because of his own karmic consequence that, the Samavsharan is there and he's getting such a great fame. Is called Tirthankara. These are 24 in number. Okay, so Tirthankar is a Vitaragi Sarvagya Bhagwan who is also Hitopadeshi, who also gets to preach the path to liberation, has a Samavisharan, and has Tirthankar Nam Karma to its fruition. That person is called Tirthankara. Okay, so two definitions. Who is Bhagwan? The one who is unattached and omniscient, Vitaragi and Sarvagya is called Bhagwan. So the Aryantas and Siddhas are Bhagwan. Who is Tirthankar? One who preaches the right path to liberation, is surrounded by magnificence of Samavsharan and other glories, and in whom the Tirthankar Nam Karma has come to fruition, is called Tirthankara. There are 24 numbers. The names of these 24 Tirthankaras we read in last class. Yeah, we all should know these 24 names. And out of these 24 Tirthankaras, there are three Tirthankaras who have more than one name. The first Tirthankara, Tirthankara Rishabdev, who is also called Adinath. The ninth Tirthankara, Pushpaganta Bhagwan, who is also called Suvidhinath. And the 24th Tirthankara, Mahavir Bhagwan, who also had four other names, Vardhaman, Veer, Ativir, and Sanmati. Yes? Fine. Simple. The last paragraph of this chapter is also important. Sir, what is the good of knowing these? We can ourselves attain godhood by understanding their teachings and practicing them. So we are not here to seek anything from our Bhagwans. We are only going to take inspiration, learn their teachings, and practice those learnings. So we are here to do our jobs ourselves. Our Bhagwans are not going to spoon feed us. They're not going to do anything for us. Okay? Any questions from this chapter? Simple. Okay? Tired? A little bit? Exhausted? ठीक है चलो so now we are going to enter into a discussion which is rather relaxing and more interesting. So last time I asked you guys, we have different traditions or in world philosophies there are certain traditions which say that we should not bow down to a lifeless object, an idol, a tree, piece of stone, a painting. Why? I am filled with life and I have myself created this form in one piece of stone. So it was a part of a mountain. I broke that part. I took it to my workshop. I using my chisel, using my all instruments, I have crafted an idol out of it, an artifact out of it. It is created by me. And now you're telling me I should bow down to it because it created me. I have created it or it has created me. So should we bow down to an idol? Okay, because in this world there are two different types of thoughts which are going about doing rounds. So if you go to a mosque, inside the mosque you will find nothing. Yeah, there is no idol, there is no establishment, it's just walls and walls and walls. Yeah. If you go to Gurudwara, there is no idol. There are books. There is Guru Granth Sahib. That's it. If you go to a Sthanakwasi Derasar, it's not called Derasar, Upashraya. Yeah. Yeah. You go to Upashraya, nothing. If you go to Taran Taran Chaityalaya in Digambara tradition, you will find a temple, but that temple will not be called temple. It will be called Chaityalaya and it will have Jinvani and not the idol of Bhagwan. Right? So forget about world philosophies. Even within Jain traditions, both Digambaras and Shvetambaras, there are two ideologies which are taking rounds. One, those who go to derasaras or temples. The other who go to Chaityalayas or Upashrayas. One who do Murti Puja, one who do not do Murti Puja. The next chapter, the fourth chapter, is about Dev Darshan. But before we read it, that how and what we should do inside a temple, first, is it even legitimate? Is it even okay to bow down to a lifeless object while I am filled with life myself? Yes, tell me.
I think it, it
Yes.
I think we should bow down to
Why?
a Pratima because it basically just focuses the mind to what you would want to become.
Raj, we can't hear you.
Bit louder.
I think basically
Yes. Yes.
it focuses ourselves, our thoughts.
Mm.
Otherwise, I think my thoughts would probably um, be um, all over the place. Um,
Okay.
so I think for that reason, it would be good.
Okay. Okay. So help focus. Fine. Okay. It's good for focus.
Um,
First things
but
first. You go to the temple. You go to the temple, and there is a lot of new things happening in even in Jain temples these days. So we have the Prakshal of Bhagwan, the Abhishek of Bhagwan. Then we have this Gandhodak. Have you seen this Gandhodak? And then we get to touch the idol itself. And people touch the idol and then they put Gandhodak here, 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 everywhere, sort of, right? And people really think if they get to touch the idol, something magical happens. Is there some sorcery, some magic to it? Touching to a marble or a piece of metal?
Mm.
Have you heard the
Yes.
story of Shripal and Mena Sundari?
Yes.
Yeah, there was this king Shripal who developed this rare skin disease called Koda,
Mm.
Kushthroga. Okay, yeah. And he was a king, but he was then banished from the kingdom because of this, along with his 700 other friends. And the father of Mana Sundari, who was a princess, asked Manasundari and Roopsundari, these were two sisters. So the Roopsundari, he asked, okay, you have now grown up and we want to marry you off. So is there somebody you would want to marry too? So Roopsundari said, okay, yeah, I like that prince. Father said, very well. And he arranged their marriage and she was married to that prince she wanted to marry. The Manasundari, she used to go to Patshala. Yeah, so she used to take classes of Jainism. And so, because she used to take, so she was a bit more Vitragi in that sense. So, when her father asked that, okay, is there somebody whom you like? Do you want to, or like, you want to be married to? And she said, see, whatever happen will happen. I have no desire. So, you decide for me. You cannot decide a better groom than my Bhagya, and you cannot decide a worse groom than my Bhagya. So whatever it is, I'm happy with it. So this father, this arrogant king, he felt hurt. He said, what? You're saying that your karma will decide whom you'll marry? I am the king. Now you see, I'm going to decide for you. And he ordered his ministers to search the worst groom possible for his daughter, just to make a point that it is not the karma but the father who decides. He said, Ek to I'm giving you the liberty to choose your groom. I'm such an open minded father. And you're telling me, you know, no, father, whatever is written will happen to me, don't worry. So he got hurt. So he said, okay, fine, fine. So the ministers were shaken. The princess was so beautiful and she was so nice, such a nice girl. So they were like, this Raja has gone mad. But still, you cannot offend your own king. So you have to follow the orders. So they went out searching for a king who is ugliest. And this banished prince, Shripal, having his body filled with all skin problems and like smelling. So he was at the border of their kingdom. He was sitting under a tree on a chair, and he was sitting like a king because he was a prince, and the other friends were also around him, and he has good aura. He looked ugly, but he had aura. So ministers saw and they said, okay, fine, our problem is gone. He looks like he is a prince, but he is also not handsome. So they took him, and the king married off their daughter, his daughter, to this. Everybody was crying in that wedding, even the king himself, after realizing what he has done. But Mera Sundari was sorted. See, whatever is written is written. I'll only get what is there in my karma. And then what she did, she said, okay, now see, the marriage has happened and you all are in great pain because of this disease. What to do? Even the doctors are not having any medicines, any quick cure to this disease. Uh, Take care. Instead of thinking more about it, instead of crying about the pain, let's deal with it. Let's invest our time in good thoughts. So she's decided that we'll do Vidhan and Pujan of Bhagwan. So she did Siddha Chakra Vidhan, the puja of Siddha Bhagwan, for 8 days. And on the ninth day, after the puja got completed, the Gandhodak of Bhagwan's idol, Pratima, it was applied to everybody. And it is now, the legend says that on that day, with that Gandhodak, all the disease went away. Everybody was cured. So I'm asking, like you go to temple and you touch the magical idol of Bhagwan, and it will magically take away all our problems, right? Like what happened for Shripal and Menasundari. And turns out Shripal, who was who was assumed to be the ugliest groom, he was actually a Kamdev. So he was the most handsome. So yeah, Menasundari got what was there in her bhagya. Okay. But I'm asking, so some sort like these stories do rounds in our, Pratmanyog Shastras. And it is always said that, okay, if you go to the temple, you put on Gandhodak. Whenever you go to temple, have you applied the water which is placed in the temple called Gandhodak?
Yes, yes.
So the questions are very simple and very basic. The question is first, the idol sitting in temple, is that Bhagwan or not? The first thing.
No,
Is that Bhagwan or it's a replica of Bhagwan?
no, he's not
It's
at
not
all
Bhagwan.
human. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
because in my hometown there is a temple where Mahavir Bhagwan is sitting, and in your temple also Mahavir Bhagwan is sitting, and there are 100 other temples which I know where Mahavir Bhagwan is sitting, but there is only one Mahavir. How can he be at the same time in India as well as in UK? So he's not Mahavir. He is the replica of Mahavir, right? So, is that idol a Bhagwan or not? My question is that. No. Then why do you go to the temple and do darshan if he's not?
Can
To
you hear
see them and to remember of the original Bhagwan.
Okay, okay. And original Bhagwan is where exactly?
Vidyalaya.
inside us.
In Siddhalaya, does Mahavir Bhagwan look like what he looks like right now? Because in temple, he's Arihanta.
No,
In Siddhalaya, he's Siddh. Mahavir Bhagwan is a Siddh or Arihanta?
right now Siddha.
Right now, Siddha. So by looking at Arihanta, how do you know about Siddha?
Uh, that was the last form of his Paryay. So therefore
Yeah.
we remember his last form of Paryay and then we imagine कि okay now the current status of that Jeev is like Siddha.
Great, great, great. ठीक है. Why do we see two questions? It's a two-part problem now. The first part is whether bowing down in front of an assumed idol, like the assumed idol of Bhagwan, does it bring any good? Second, does that assumption in that particular work of art, does it make that work of art any magical? Does it have any powers?
That uh, art piece itself doesn't do anything, but my own belief system definitely is changing my karma within my soul, and it is clearing all the means जो भी वो कर्म का निर्जरा कर होती है उससे, तो मेरी उसको देख के मेरी ही श्रद्धा मेरे ही कर्म की निर्जरा कर रही है. So therefore I'm taking help of that thing,
Okay,
because in me it is bringing the upliftment. Not
okay,
that fellow is doing anything to me, but I am I'm benefited by looking at
okay,
him.
great. No, but how come? How come looking at the idol, does it change anything in us? I'm asking, like, how does it change? What is the mechanism?
It
How is
it
it
bri-
working?
it
I
brings
want
the
more
Mentally,
power.
participation, more people. Vishwaji, Shreyaji, Mihir Bhai. Yes, yes,
I
Alpit.
personally,
Huh.
yeah. Go ahead. Um, okay. So I personally think that the reason we have idols in temples are just so that we have one place where we, like, we can go, like God, like currently we believe that gods are omnipresent, but just so that we can have a place where we can um realize
Oh,
a place
gods
where
are
we can think about it,
omnipresent.
an environment which is,
Gods
as
are
in, like,
omnipresent.
there's a God in all of us, right? We are Atma ke hisab,
Okay,
like if we go in that
okay,
sense, if we are
okay,
talking. But
okay,
a temple is a place where we can uh, go more in depth into our thoughts, how we think more about our own Atma. So that is why we go to
okay.
temples, and we worship idols not in the sense of worshipping that they give us something, but in the sense that we want to achieve what they have, like as an aspiration. So because if a god has achieved siddha that level, then he does not have any shape or form. So since we need something to worship at, that is why the last known state, which is the body, that is why we worship the idol. Now bowing down to it is a little
Mhm. Okay.
I'm not sure why we bow down to it.
Yeah, why do we bow down to it? Just have a look at it like you go to a museum and come back. Yes, LPG.
We are bowing down to his qualities, or what he has attained, and we want to become like him, the God. That's why, and we are trying to look within ourselves. So even though we are bowing down to just an idol, inside in our bhav, we are thinking that we want to become like him, and that's what we are trying to do. So there's two different things which are happening. So physically we are bowing down, but internally we are trying to become like him. So
Okay, great, great,
I
great.
have,
So
I
again,
have,
with body, it looks like an act of bowing down, but from our thoughts, it's an act of invoking those qualities within us. Right? Great, great, great.
can you hear me? Because I'm trying to, can you hear me?
Yes,
Or I don't know
yes,
whether,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes, yes, Yatish.
So similar things, what I, means, what I think or what I have already understood, you are not bowing down to that statue or murti, but you are bowing down to their accomplishment, what they have achieved. So just like agar you have some ideal and you always want to be like this, and that's why you have the ideal, and that inspires you to become like this, and that's
Yes,
what we do in the temple. But due to
great.
many reasons, maybe we have deviated from this one on many, but the main essence of this one is this: I want to be like this, and I'm going down to accomplish what they have achieved, and that's all I want. And doing
Great.
puja and all these things is just a kriya to go further and to refine ourselves. But this do not make you to become a siddha or something, but this is one or step something uh towards. That's what I think or feel.
Okay, great, 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 great. Yeah, so this is like
And
taking inspiration and getting inspired from them, and like the retelling of this resolve that we want to walk into in his path. Yes, Swati ji, you have to say something.
Yeah, I was saying ki it's a reflection of ours. So we bow down to affirm that we want to the कर्मों की
Okay.
निर्जरा करना है. We want to attain that
Yes, great.
पर्याय.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And
So
no,
it's
but there's another reason I think it obviously to gain those qualities, but also to be humble, to surrender, to not just because I'm bowing down, I'm expecting those qualities to come in, but I'm giving up myself as well. So it's more about being benevolent to that. And bowing down is not just in us, but I'll come back to that question because um, even in Islam, they are bowing down. Yeah, so they are not bowing down to the idol. So the question still remains: isn't bowing down is not a problem, or bowing down is everywhere. Even in Gurdwara, they are bowing down. In Islam, they are bowing down. Probably your question is bowing down to an idol versus bowing down to say books or to just walls. So that still is the same is still not answered, as in going down to idol versus the scriptures written on the wall. What's the difference between the two? So I don't know. I'm still asking that
yes.
question. So that's not answered
Okay.
for me.
Okay. Correct. Yes, Richa ji.
Just so maybe it's a question, but uh, for me, it's like bowing down to a margdarshak, right? In a way, it's a bowing down to a teacher, and uh, in the temple, it is an idol, but I look at the idol as a teacher. But at the same time, I also bow down to acharya and sadhus because they are also the teachers currently. So it's and people who do not follow idols, they also go down to something, either a book, because they think that book is the margdarshak for them, right? So
Great.
it's like a going down to a margdarshak rather than any form.
Great. So wonderful answers and feedbacks from so many of you. Let's take it as a very, what should I call it? The advertisement of the very nature of consciousness. We should take it as that case study. If I show you a poster which has a crab, a fish is served in a seven-star hotel plate, and it is on the cover page of that magazine that okay, you enjoy the delicacies of life. What triggers your mind when you see that picture? A boiled, cooked crab and fish, you see very well done with garnishing and with decoration. You see that picture. What does it like? How does it make you feel? Is it a pleasant picture to watch? No. For you, it is not. But why is it then on the front page of that magazine? For somebody else, it actually activates many taste buds.
Mm,
For somebody, it's pure joy that, yeah, I want to have it, right? So, two things. One, how I am programmed.
mm,
That programming is internal. And based on that programming, I observe the world outside. So, if
mm,
in Jain temple, you will send a person who knows zero knowledge about Jain tradition, he will start laughing why their gods are not wearing any clothes. Why are they exhibiting nudity at public places? This is not at all good. We were in Manglayathan, right? While I was in hostel. So, many people will come to Manglayathan just to see, sightseeing and all. And there is this Bahubali temple where we have three Kayut Sarg Pratibhas of Bahubali Bhagwan and Bharat Bhagwan. And more often than not, the people who would be coming from nearby villages to do the darshan, they will often mock the idols. They will say that why have they not made the Bhagwans wear any clothes, right? Because you are seeing them from your understanding, not from what they are. So, the first thing, the first case study of consciousness of knowledge is that we do not see what is there. We see what is here and we interpret the outside from that scenery. So, for you, that cover of the magazine is cruel. Maybe if you're eating, you will close your tiffin and stop eating after seeing it. Probably. For somebody else, he would plan when I'm going to next trip, I'm going to order this. Yes. So it is not the scenery, but it is what is here. You see how you're programmed and not what thing is. This is called subjective knowing. It's not objective knowing. So reality has two parts. One, what objective reality is. Here. So let me ask this to you. What is this?
You.
Huh?
Marble statue.
Yeah, the objective reality is marble. What you see is marble. Wherever you see is marble. It's marble, marble, marble. It is nothing but marble. That is objective reality. But in your mind, it is Bhagwan, a Jain Tirthankara. So you would say it is Bhagwan. Somebody will else will say it's a great piece of art. For them, because they're looking out for art, the programming is to see a beautifully done piece of art. For a person who knows just the material, he would say, oh, this is not metal, this is marble. So a person who specializes in material will see the material. A person who specializes in art will see the art. A person who specializes in belief will see Bhagwan. Yes, it's not what it is, it's about what it is. Yes, this is epistemic reality and this is objective reality. Yes, one, what is there programmed, and one, what is. Fine. What is indifferent of how you perceive it. Nothing changes if you call it marble in it. Nothing changes if you call it Mahavir in it. Nothing changes in it. But everything changes here. Everything. If I say, no, this is not Mahavir, this is Buddha, it will change a lot many things in you. If I'll say, this is not idol of Buddha, this is of Mahavir, and if you're Jain, it will change the whole dynamics. Yes or no? What will change over here? Nothing will. What will change over here? Everything will. Like we discussed about the spokes in the tricolor, the Tiranga of India. They are 24. And now it will change the way we look at Tiranga from now on in Ashok Stambha because now there is some connection to it of our belief. Correct? So everything changes over here. Now, this consciousness works like a giant mirror. You show it a bad picture, it will start mirroring bad types of thoughts. You show it a picture filled with action, it will have the thought of valor, thought of strength, thought of fight, anger. The way, even a single cartoon can, invoke so many conspiracies, right? A simple poster, and it can bring wars, two countries at wars. Yes, the picture has great connections with our thoughts. So, what we see, not the scenery, but how we have been programmed, what we see directly triggers our emotions. It directly triggers. So, while my house is flooded with the photos of the trip. We went to US, we went to we came to India, we went to Taj Mahal, we went to that place, this place. My whole house, the walls are flooded with those family pictures. Why have we put those family pictures on the walls? They mean something to us. When we see them, certain types of memories, certain types of emotions that get provoked. So, what Jain Acharyas are saying, see, when you have thousand influence directly attacking you, your consciousness, and triggering the emotions, should you not have out of those thousand sceneries that you see on a daily basis, at least one which invokes a memory of your own very nature? While everywhere you have so many triggers to your emotions of actions, of fears, of greed, of anger, of frustrations, of emotions, of love. When you have all sorts of emotions which are triggered just by looking at certain things, if my consciousness reacts to the scenes it sees, should I not start changing the sceneries which I have placed in my life? When there is a direct connection between the scenery and the thought, then should I not be very cautious of what sceneries do I expose my eyes to? So that's where the nimitta naimittik sambandh, the cause and effect relationship comes between the idol and between the thoughts. It is not that the idol is majestic, it is magical, it has certain type of superpowers that it is going to bless us with. No, it is my deliberate effort that I expose myself to the sceneries which calm myself rather than triggering the emotions I want to let go of. Correct? So, you see, most of the movies these days we are seeing, they are action movies. Like so much of violence is being generalized. The games which children are playing these days are so cruel. They are either playing with guns or with tanks or with all sorts of violent stuff. The kind of um, things that on a daily basis we are seeing, that how the two countries going to the war, how it is told to us that okay, our country did this, and we were the ultimate, like we won this war, and it is glamorized in a fashion that okay, we are always at war with somebody. The way everybody is preparing us for growth, for anger, for fight, for fear, we need more inspiration which motivates us to be calm, to be resilient, to be forgiving. And that's where all these inspirations, the house of these inspirations, a separate place, which is not our household, so that the sanctity of that place, the sanctity of emotion remains. That's where the role of temples come in, right? So the Murti Puja is not going down in front of the idol, it's not going down to a metal or stone. It is just about taking the right inspiration, like what you all said. And it has very effective cause and effect relationship. You change the scenery, your thoughts will start changing. Yes. So we cannot ignore this simple relationship. And to this relationship, it is being said in this chapter, Dev Darshan. We'll just quickly have the read of this chapter because there are three important words and one beautiful word which I think everybody is familiar with. But okay, there is a question. Is a temple like a replica of some of Sharan, going down to remind us of qualities of God and for us to have the same and become Siddha too? Neuroplasticity, follow steps of Siddha internally. Very good, yes. And if you read the present papers on neurosciences, so they did the studies on the emotions of humans. The most effective medicine, as per neurosciences, the most effective medicine which humans can practice is what you said, Kapilji, a few moments back. It's called gratitude. It's the attitude to surrender. Yes. So when you let go of this illusion that we are special, we are superior, that we are in charge of this life, we know everything, we have everything sorted, that arrogance breeds all sorts of miseries, all sorts of unrestness. So even the neurosciences are saying that surrendering means submitting, means saying that Bhagwan, I am here in front of you to be inspired to be like you because I, right now in this state, am not enough, am not good. So that is called bowing down. So it is not bowing down to the greatness of Bhagwan. It is committing to our shortcomings that we'll be free from them by looking at the Bhagwan. Yes. So it is the best medicine that, why are we bowing down? It's not the act of surrendering to somebody else. It is acknowledging the fact that we have far more impurities and there is a person in front of us who has escaped from each one of those impurities and we can do that too. So we are just wishing, like you said, neuroplasticity. Yes. So this is how we are repeating to ourselves that, okay, I want to be like this. Okay. Let's quickly, we have last few minutes of this session left. I'll just do the reading of this chapter, very simple. 3 new words we learned today and we'll close it. Dinesh and Jinesh are talking. Jinesh, where are you going to? Jinesh, to the holy temple. What for? To have darshan of the Jinendra Bhagwan. Well, I also come with you. That is fine. First, put off this leather belt. One should not carry things made of leather inside the temple. Should we use leather inside the temple or not? So we can use it outside the temple. The leather
We
should not
shouldn't
be
use
used
inside or outside.
inside or outside. Yeah, yeah. So, but because it is to teach children, it is written in that way. So it's not that leather is not allowed inside the temple. The leather is not allowed. Why? It seems like, the leather, the dead is already gone and the skin is all that is left and we are using whatever is left. The agamas, the Jain agamas, while they're talking about yonis, they say in the skin of the dead beings because it is part of Audaric Sharir, even after it being processed, it remains the yoni of Tras Jivas. Means in any leather object, Tras Jivas constantly keep taking birth in very minute forms, but they remain the yoni of, means the habitats of the Tras Jivas, and therefore leather should not be touched. And I think this does not need any explanation in today's world when we know already so much about this industry. Okay? Well, I shall just put it off. Both reach the temple. Oh, brother, where are you going? Please put off your shoes here. Shoes and chappals are not taken inside a temple. We all know this. It seems you have not visited a temple before and are not acquainted with the method of darshan. Okay. Yes, I do not know the correct method. Please let me know it. Jinesh, first of all, we should take off our shoes and chappals and wash our hands and feet at the gate of the temple where water is kept for the purpose. Then we should enter the temple proclaiming victory to the god and uttering the word Nisahi 3 times. This is the word Nisahi. Why? Because we're going to the temple. We want to be present in temple physically and mentally. Because the major work that is going to happen in temple is the mental work. It's not the physical work. Yes, our thoughts need to be pure, right? So for mental, like you have removed your chappals and shoes outside the temple. But there are different types of chappal and shoes which your soul also wears. Have you taken it off or not? So Nissahi is the process to put off those shoes and chappals of the soul. Yeah, not just of the body. So what is the meaning of Nissahi? Nissahi means giving up all kinds of worldly affairs. So going to the temple, but you're planning, okay, after I'm going to that place, then I'm going to do this. So everything is planned while you're doing the darshan. Our brain is constantly not present in the temple. It is already thinking about how our day is going to be all about. So Nisai says, no, here no other thoughts are allowed. Only I and the Bhagwan, the five Parmeshtis, are going to be there. The meaning is that we should enter a temple after giving up all the desires and anxieties of the world. भगवान मेरा ये काम हो जाए ये ठीक हो जाए forget about everything that is happening in your life. You have come here just to be inspired. So be present for the no matter how long duration you are in the temple. Dinesh, then what? Standing before the altar of God and chanting Om Jai Jai Jai, Namostu Namostu Namostu, Namo Arhantadam, Chittari Mangalam, etc. One should bow down before the God. Then going round the altar 3 times, parikrama, one should say his prayers, whatever prayer you remember. Then again going before the God and chanting Namokar mantra 9 times doing the Kayat Sarga. One should stand erect and meditate with concentration. Dinesh, well, this is the way one should have darshan of the God with concentration. What more? After that, one should study some religious books at least for half an hour. If religious discourse is going on, one should listen to that. Is that all? Not that. One should ponder over the matter read or heard in the discourse. One should also ponder over questions like who am I? God? How can I attain Godhood? What is the good of all this? This brings peace to the soul and purifies our thoughts. We talk about our soul in the temple. If we understand our soul and dive deep into it, we can ourselves attain Godhood. See, Dev Darshan is not about Dev Darshan. It's about contemplation and self inquiry. So, 3 things. First, Nissahi. Nissahi means let go of all the worldly thoughts. Second is when you do the darshani process, Om Jai Jai Jai, Namostu Namostu Namostu, Namo Arihantadam Part, Chittari Mangal Part. Do parikrama if you know any stutis like Vitrag Sarvagya Hitankar or Prabhu Patit Pavan, whichever stuti you know. You do that. It is said that the prayer should be short and simple, right? If a prayer is too complicated, it loses its effect. So prayer should be such. You need not remember any stutis, but you know your own language. You know what you want for yourself. You can do prayer in your language. You do not have to do the bhaktis or pujas of Gyanat Rai ji, of Yugal Babu ji. Prayer is a very personal thing. You know five Parmeshtis. You know your life. You know your problems. You know you have growth, man, maya, lobh, rag, dvesh. You say it in your language. Never complicate a prayer. A prayer is good, which is simple, which you can understand. This is simple. This is very important. We complicate. We say नहीं मुझे तो कोई स्तुति याद नहीं है. अरे you know your problems, you know your shortcomings, you know what you want to be, you know what he is. Admire, admire yourself. आलोचना अपनी कर सकते हैं. We can criticize ourselves. This all becomes the part of the prayer in whichever language, English, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, whatever. Right? So second is darshan and the kaitsar. The third part is swadhyay. Swadhyay means reading. And in this, it is written 30 minutes, which is ideal. But even 5 minutes, it is said contemplate. Who am I? What is it that I do? Why all that is happening with me is happening with me? What is the meaning of all this? So, contemplating about the self. So you go to a teacher's house, you take all the flowers and bouquets, you take sweets, you go and do massage of your teacher, you do one, arati of your teacher, you do everything, and then you come back, you do not listen to your teacher. Then why did you even go to your teacher? Aryantas are teacher, Tirthankaras. So while you're doing puja, you're you're talking to teacher. But while you're doing swadhyay, your teacher is talking to you. What is more important thing to be done? You telling your teacher how grateful you are, or your teacher teaching you a lesson? So in mandir, darshan is important, but more than darshan, what Bhagwan has said, the contemplation is crucial. It's more important. So when we do darshan and when we do not listen to भगवान, हम भगवान को सुनाते हैं, भगवान की नहीं सुनते हैं, then that is not called darshan at all. It is called hypocrisy. भगवान आ गया मैं, I am present, mark my present, tata bye bye. I have more important things to do in my life. So Bhagwan will say, why did you even come? Right? So Bhagwan does not want a follower. He is Vitragi. You came to Bhagwan's temple for yourself, not for Bhagwan. Then what did you take? What you gave, we saw. You donated some money. You brought along some dravyas. That is, but what did you get from the temple? That is Swadhyay. That is the Vani of Bhagwan. So this is the third thing, which is third part of, so three-part process. First is entry, Nissahi. Second is Darshan, which is Om Jai 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 Namostu Namostu Namostu, and your prayer should be simple. After Namokar Mantra and Chittari Mangal part, you can make your own prayer. Okay? That is the second part. The third part is the real part of Darshan, which is Swadhyay or contemplation. Okay? It must be done in a temple. It will not be as effective when you do it in your house because you're always occupied in your house. In temple, it's a different story. Okay? Fine. We'll stop here. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can ask or we'll do Chinmani Stuti. Sure. So, uh, homework is, sorry, I'm giving you homework, but the seventh chapter is Rishabdev Bhagwan's chapter, very two-pager it is. Just skim through the life of Rishabdev Bhagwan. In the next class, we'll only do Jeev and Ajeev, and afterwards, we'll do Rishabdev Bhagwan's chapter, and Dincharya is very simple, straightforward. So I would want that, by next session, we are done with Balbodh Patmala Bhag 1. Okay, so the assignment is that we have to read about Bhagwan Rishabdev. I hope everybody has heard of Nilanjana. Yeah, yeah. So it's simple story, but a good story everybody should know of. ठीक है चलो we'll do Jinvani Stuti quickly. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है 9 times श्लोक आना था ये महान जैन धर्म की जय हो। द्वादशान में जिनवाणी माता की जय हो।